Hi guys, welcome to Minkof Samarot, Minkof Samaroti, and in today's episode, episode 19, the theme is Muda, Berprestasi, and because as the title shows itself, we're going to be showcasing some of the Indonesian talents out here that have been recognized by not only Indonesians themselves, but sort of to like an international standard. And yeah, really, we're just gonna sit down as the series suggests. We're gonna sit down, we're gonna talk about stuff. And I'm sure these sort of Indonesian talents, they have a lot of experience, they have a lot of things to say. So yeah, if you guys can introduce yourselves.
Hi everyone, my name is Andhiny Titania. I'm 12 years old and I'm one of the youngest Indonesian singer that joins Music Lab. It's one of the singing company.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Aditya Prasetyo. I'm 17 years old and I do mountain bike and road bike races here in Qatar.
Yeah, I was really just like thinking, because I've never really heard of it. What is Music Lab? If you can like explain it more.
So Music Lab is one of the singing program that was made by Dana Almir. She's one of the FIFA opening and ceremony singer.
Okay, so it's like an established singer, sort of like opening something. So it's like other singing talents can be recognized. That's really nice that she did that, obviously. And I was really thinking, because like singing, you gotta like perform in front of like an audience.
Yeah.
Like the ones that I've seen is like the crowds are really huge,
Yeah.
And I know you definitely have that experience. So what would you say like keeps you like composed during those moments?
So, my teacher told me that making mistakes is okay. It is what makes you feel better. So, I feel like making mistakes is okay, and I just try to push myself to sing in front of a lot of people.
Yeah, speaking of like making mistakes, we as humans, we make mistakes on the daily and stuff like that. So, where because the sports and singing and stuff like that is like it's very volatile. There are moments where you can mess up and stuff like that. Where how about you? Did like where has there been any like particular experience where like you sort of thought, oh, I made a mistake here, but then you like bounce back from that experience and stuff like that?
I feel like definitely preparing earlier for the race, because I usually like put stuff on like the last minute, which is not good. So I learned that from my mistake, because if like I put things in the last minute, I rush through things and everything is just everywhere and stuff, and it's like stressing me out as well with the race and so yeah, so I started preparing earlier, so I don't have to stress, like everything is under control.
So it's like more of like this like gradual method where you practice for a certain amount of days, and then you just sort of build up instead of like procrastinating.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
You said something really interesting there about like stressing out, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's within everybody, because we're all human. So it's like we're all bound to stress out sometimes. But because you guys perform in like these like sort of like very intense like conditions, how do you guys deal with that stress? Is there anything specific, Aditya?
I feel like just focusing on what I've prepared for, like for example, I know that I'm competing with people that is like that have been doing cycling longer than me and having more experience, that have cycled longer than me and stuff. I feel like preparing and knowing what's gonna come up and what to expect really helps me.
Yeah, he just spoke about like preparations and stuff like that, and there's this like as a singer and stuff like that, the singers that I've seen, they have like this specific thing that they do in like the backstage, they sort of prepare and stuff like that. Is there any like specific preparations that you do, or like how do you prepare in general?
Yeah, so when we're in backstage, we have to run and grab our mics and then be ready and everything. And then when you got your mics, you just like forgot everything and then just focus on what you're doing.
So what I'm really getting from talking to you about that is that it's like you guys really like, you guys have the ability to like focus on what you can do at that moment, which is really amazing, because not a lot of people can do that. A lot of people tend to think about the possibilities and stuff like that. And the things that you guys do is like obviously very tough for people. But Aditya, I just want to talk to you, like because sports like biking and stuff like that, it's very intense on the physical part.
Yeah, sure.
Has there been any like specific race where like you'll always remember this because it's very competitive and stuff like that? So it's very hard.
Yeah, I feel like it's the one that I had 2 weeks ago. It was in Sea Line.
See, like,
Yeah, so like the terrain has like so many soft sand and stuff, and it's like really hard to pedal through that soft sand and stuff. I feel like that was like also one of the biggest race here in Qatar for mountain biking, and I was really like nervous. What do you call it? I was very stressed out about that race because it was one of the biggest one. I was like really wanting to win that race and stuff. I want to show everyone that I could do it, even though I'm young, and like with all the preparation that was needed, I could do anything, like anything, And that race in specific, I won that race actually. Yeah, with like a very big gap as well, and I was like really proud of that.
so it's like certain situations where you're put under duress, you're put under stress and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Actually, if you sort of like if you're able to like overcome that kind of stress, you'll see that you're bound to be successful.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
mental pressure and stuff like that, especially in sports. I don't know how it is in singing as much. I don't think it's as much in singing actually, because but like in sports especially, mental pressure is sort of like bound to like translate to physical pressure as well.
Yeah,
So
for sure. Yeah.
it's really hard. But talking about the mental side of things as well, Andhiny, you're gonna perform. When you're singing, you're gonna perform in front of a large audience, right?
Yeah.
And these audience, this is like a lot of the problems that like when I talk to people, this is what they find the most difficult. The fact that you're gonna have to perform in front of a large number of people, and you don't know these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like these people could think anything about you. It could be the first time that they see you, and like you don't want to mess up. So how do you deal with that kind of thing?
Well, I just forgot everything and then just started singing and then just like let everything out. And I don't think about like people, I don't care about people talking about me or like saying I did so many mistakes, but I just ignored them.
Yeah, it's really nice actually that you say like you don't really care about what other people think, because makes you really focused and like focus on what you're doing at the moment and stuff, like just trying your best. And I feel like when you're trying your best, at anything, you're bound to be successful at it, and
Sure.
people are gonna recognize that effort if it's genuine, And I was really just gonna say, because you guys do these things, right? And like biking, and you do like singing, where there are like so many like role models to like look at, Indonesians, non-Indonesians, Qatari and stuff like that. So Aditya, who do you look up to when you think about like biking and stuff like that?
There's this one rider that I really look up to. His name is Matthew Van Der Poel. He's crazy. Like he wins basically any races he goes to and stuff. It's like very like, amazing,
If you can like pinpoint like a specific attribute or like sort of like trait that you really like about him, what can you say about him?
I feel like his discipline. He like trains. He doesn't see like what the weather is like. He just goes out and train and stuff. I feel like the discipline really like motivates me in a way that I could meet his standard as well. Like I shouldn't have an excuse to not train.
So it's it sort of like drives you, like the
Yeah.
kind of things that he does.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also nice that you say something about discipline. It's not
Yeah.
like it's something that anyone can build up. It's
Yeah.
not something that like something other people say, oh, talent. Because really, when you just have talent and you have no discipline, that's kind of like that's
Yeah.
useless. So, how about you? In singing, do you look up to anyone specific?
So I am a huge fan of Ariana Grande. You might know her.
Yeah, I know her. Yeah, I'm a big fan as well.
Yeah, because I love how she just like lets everything away and then just like have her confidence to sing and a lot of people, and then it just makes me motivated. And I was like, I want to be like her. I want to push myself more to be like her. So she motivates me a lot.
Yeah, I was really gonna say like about Ariana Grande, right? Ariana Grande and like the current, because she's very relevant,
Yeah.
even in today's scene, right? Even though I would say she's a veteran. You know, she's definitely a veteran. So I was just like, in today's music scene, right? There's a lot of like genre bending artists and stuff like that. So I can't really be sitting here and like ask you like, oh, what genre do you like specifically belong to, or like what kind of genre do you sing and stuff like that. But if you could probably give me a mixture of like what kind of stuff do you sing, like if you're gonna put it in terms of genre.
I mean, I like to sing like every song, and then about genre, I don't really care about genre, so I just sing songs.
So it's like you're really flexible with it. Yeah. And Aditya, you talk about like mountain biking, right? And mountain biking is like sort of like a subgenre of like biking. And what do you think is like, out of like all the, I mean, I don't really remember because personally I don't do like biking.
Yeah.
What like what would you say is like the top three like hardest
Races?
yeah, sort of like hardest races?
Definitely the one 2 weeks ago was really tough. Even though the distance was not that far. It was like 34 kilometers. Even though the distance wasn't too far, but there was like, I think it was 9 dunes, like 9 big dunes that you have to cross over. So you have to like walk and push the bike up. It was like very tiring.
It's like the relief of it.
Yeah, that was like one of the toughest one because I was like having cramps like everywhere. So it was, but I still have to push it. You know, it was crazy. The second one is probably the week before that. It was it was a very tough race actually. It was in Dukhan. There was like big hills that you need to climb and stuff. I think it was, if I'm not wrong, it was 88 kilometers.
88 kilometers.
Yeah. It was like, and I was against the Bahrain national team as well. It was crazy race. But I came third there.
Oh, okay.
That was crazy.
That's not bad considering the Bahrain
Yeah, you
national
know,
team.
it
That's
was crazy.
actually really good.
It was
That's
crazy.
actually
It was
really
crazy. I died after that. I slept the whole day. And then the third toughest one was a week before that as well. Actually,
a week before that.
it was raining. It was really cold, and then so it was a mountain bike race. It was actually in Al Khor, just behind my house, and it was really cold and raining, like strong winds and stuff. Yeah, it was tough because it was just windy and it was cold. And it was just,
So
yeah.
what I'm getting is like it's sort of like the 3 races that you picked as like the hardest races that you've been to. They're like the reason as to why they're hard. They're actually quite different.
Yeah.
So one's really about the relief, one's about the distance, one's about about the competition as well, and then one's about the weather. So
Yeah.
it really there's a lot of factors that
Yeah,
can,
of course. Yeah, sure.
How about you? So like obviously you've performed in like for the FIFA World Cup, and you've performed for like music festivals as well. So what would you say are some of your most memorable performances?
It was last year. I mean, like it's in November and December. So I did this thing. It's called Acara, and it's basically a program that was created by Doha Film Institute. Yeah, and then it was so cold, and then we have to sing like on a big stage. There's lots of people watching me, and I am so scared, but like I just let that go off. And then we did 3 days, so 3 nights. And then I did one solo, and then yeah.
So you perform as a group and a solo as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, who would you say like which one's like harder, like performing as a solo or as a group? Because people think about solo you have to be alone, but then group you have to like match everyone else's energy like that. So like which one would you say is harder?
I will be the group one because it's hard to be in one sound and then just connect to each other because sometimes they go to another pitch, another key, and then they just go, their voice just go on top of mine, and then my voice just go on top of each other. Yeah.
Yeah, it's also interesting that you guys say about like, you know, you guys are like, obviously you performed in a lot of festivals, you know, performed in big stages before, and you know, it's something really interesting that you said you said there, because you actually gave me the time span between the races, which is actually like crazy, because week after week after week
Yeah, it was
racing.
really-
How do you like manage that? You know, because obviously you have to like train and prepare for that. How do you manage training and like, you know, because you're in school? So
Yeah, sure.
how do you manage the academics of that as well? How do you manage both?
To be honest, I kind of stopped studying for like 2 weeks, and my grades were dropping as well. To be honest, but yeah, I feel like I still have time for the final exam. I feel like I can recover my grades from there. So yeah.
So you know, it's just very interesting to me, you know, especially like for like people who do, especially for those who do like, who take sort of like the stuff that would normally be deemed as like extracurricular activity, but then they take it to the max, like you guys do, and then you guys still have to like keep with the academics and stuff like that. So you know, it's just like kudos to both of you guys, you know, for like being able to do that. It's actually like really crazy, is because like everyone has like 24 hours a day, so
Yeah.
you know, it's like, yeah. How about you? How do you manage that, like school?
Well, I have some after school clubs, yeah, but I just did not really focus on that, and just when I get home, I study for the song, I memorize the song, and then the next day there's long practice from 2 to 10, and then the next day another practice, and then practice again, so.
It sounds like mentally
Yeah.
taxing. Oh my god. You guys have like, it seems like you guys have no rest and shit. It's just like you guys go like one day practice and then practice again and then practice again. Like, you know, it's just this thought just came to my head right now. It's like, how do you guys manage with like burnout? How about you, like?
I mean, I just just like sleep like the correct time, and then just like forget everything. So when I get home, I just clean myself up and then sleep, and then when I wake up, then I go to school, and then when I go home, I slept for a bit and then practice.
So it's like you're being really like time efficient, so like you can still rest and stuff. Yeah. How do you manage with like burnout? Obviously.
I feel like, yeah, like you said, sleeping a lot helps. A lot of sleep, and if I feel burnout, I go for a bike ride because it makes me feel better, honestly. So yeah.
So it's like it's been a hobby of yours, and it truly makes you feel good.
Yeah,
So-
for sure.
It's like it's really good. Like it's sort of like therapeutic in a way.
Yeah.
Because I do find exercising often and stuff like that, you know, good for your mental health as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really interesting because you guys have like experience in your respective departments. You know, you're singing, you're like biking. I was just thinking, when was the first time, you know, Andhiny, like that you thought like, you know, I actually really like this. I might want to keep doing this, like singing. When's the first time you thought about
Well, at first I started doing like fashion shows and stuff like that when I was 2 to 3, and then one day I joined this program in Indonesia called Perwacaraka, and then I was like, okay, I think I sound good. I want to try pushing myself, and then and try to be the best version of myself, and then. So yeah, I started singing, practicing, and then until I came to Qatar, my mom found another singing program, so I joined, and I want to be better.
Yeah, so it's sort of like it's like an ongoing thing for you still.
Yeah.
You know, still. How about you? When was the time where you're like, you know what, I this is what I want to do. You know, biking is what I want to
Yeah.
do. When was
I feel like when I was 12 years old. I'm 17 now. My dad introduced me to cycling when I was 12 or 11, I think, and he took us to like a bike ride to the beach and stuff, you know, along the coast and stuff, and I feel like I liked it. And then he took me to a race because he thought that I was actually strong enough to race there.
Oh.
Yeah, and then I came like quite decent actually.
What was the age bracket for that race?
It was like any age.
Any age?
Any age, yeah.
So there were like
bigger people than me as well.
15-year-olds.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yes.
15, 18, 20, 25.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
40. Yeah.
And guys, as per the show, the series title says, it's like Minkof Samarot. So, feel free if you guys want to drink, you guys want to take some snacks, because I'm my throat is a bit dry right
Yeah,
now.
for sure.
You might want to drink. And take the food, guys. It's there. It's there to be eaten. It's not there to be looked at. You know what I'm saying? It's really interesting because I heard your respective stories about how you guys, sort of like come to this moment where you found your passion in biking and singing, and your parents, like you said, your mom and you said your dad had a really big play in that. So it really made me think, like, who would you say some of your biggest supports is throughout your music and biking career? So if you want.
So it's probably my parents, because they always push me to go, and then sometimes when I'm too tired, I was like, I don't want to practice, but they're like, you can do it, you said you want to be a big artist, you have to push yourself and then just live everything. So they're my biggest supporters.
How about you?
First, it was my dad, because before, I like playing video games and stuff, and he doesn't like me like staying at home all the time and stuff. So he's like, go out, like do some activities and outside and stuff, right? And so he take me to biking and stuff. And then now it's my mom. She take me like everywhere to for training and stuff, like Dukhan, Doha every single day, And then even morning, 4 a.m. she takes me 3 a.m. And so yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it's not only you guys. I think it's a lot of people think their parents are their biggest supporters.
Yeah, for sure.
And in 99% of the case, it is.
Yeah.
It is because Michael Jordan always had his dad watching him play basketball games till the day he died and stuff like that. So yeah, it's really nice to have that moral support. When
Sure.
you're doing stuff. And yeah, how would you say if you guys have any sort of friends or that you guys want to highlight, maybe your bike friends and stuff
Yeah.
like that?
I just want to say thank you, Mr. Marwan, Mr. Fahad, Mr. Rashid, Mr. Saif, for pushing me through and making me at this level right now. And yeah, I'm in the national team because of you guys. Thank you so much.
How about you?
So I want to thank my teacher, Dana Almir, because she's the one that pushed me and say, it's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes can make you even more better. And I just want to thank all my friends that supports me in my singing career and my families.
Yeah.
Oh, can I say something else?
Yeah. You
Thank you to my sponsor, Ahsan Cycling, for supporting me in the races as well.
what? It's what I noticed is that even in school, anywhere where you go, it's making friends and having friends really helps, because see, there are really there are days where you don't want to go practice, you don't want to do your your thing, but then you remember, you have your friends there, and then
Yeah.
it's we gotta catch up, we gotta talk about something,
Yeah,
so
for sure.
that friends, family plays a really big part in whatever success that you're gonna have. So yeah, you say a lot about mountain biking. Is there any other type of biking that you like?
Road cycling.
Road cycling.
Road cycling. Yeah.
How does that differ from mountain biking?
Mountain bike, it's actually, it has a different type of cycling. It's mountain biking is full explosive power. You need explosive power and stuff. It's focused on technical, on the bikes and stuff, technical skills that you need to have in the bike. You need to have really good balance, and especially when you jump big jumps and stuff, you need to to be brave and stuff, and have the guts to do it. For road cycling, it's purely endurance, and endurance. That's
And before you sort of mentioned about there's like the distance factor in your race, there's like the weather factor in your race, and there's also the terrain factor in the race. I was just like, it's really interesting how you said that a race could just be like 30 kilometers.
Yeah.
But then like because of the terrain, it's harder than an 80
harder.
kilometer, 80 plus kilometers.
For sure.
So what would you say is like, would you say like terrain plays a bigger factor than distance in mountain biking?
I feel like it's both. It's definitely both. It's like some terrain is like 32 kilometers, and if it's like doing 200 kilometers in like a flat road, because of the hills really like kills me,
Yeah, because I mean, I don't do like biking like that, but I don't like walking up the stairs. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
exactly, right?
It's like it's taxing on your calves.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
everywhere on
It's
your
like
legs.
that,
You know what I'm
same
saying? And yeah, you said you do like group singing, and then like you also do like solo. What would you say is like the differences between both in preparation and like in performance?
In performance, it's so hard to arrange like the positions of each people because they're sometimes not listening and stuff like that, so it's kind of hard. But for solos, you can just like go around the stage and then just like feel free to sing. So yeah.
Which one would you think is more taxing when you're trying to practice? Like more exhausting when you're trying to practice, doing solo or like group? Group?
Yeah.
Because you have to deal with the people.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's like that. So when you say like you perform for like music lab, so it's both boys and girls, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it really is like a variety of talents and stuff like that. And like in terms of singing, I already asked for your inspiration. You said Ariana Grande, and obviously Ariana Grande had like she came from her humble beginnings. I remember her from Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sam and Cat.
Yeah.
yeah. And then she had to go through stuff to like be where she's at right now. So it shows that it's possible to reach that high level. So really, where do you want to be personally, like as a person? Where do you want to be? What kind of stuff do you want to achieve?
I want people to know me a lot more and just like have more confidence to sing in front of people, because sometimes when I go on stage, before I would go on stage I was like, okay, I can do this, but when I went on stage and I saw a lot of people, I went so nervous and then just like go shaky, and then my notes go like from here to there, and then go off pitch, and it's kind of hard to like manage myself.
Yeah. Also with like singing, right? It's like people have people are different at the end of the day, so like they have like they have their own voices. So for some people, it's like if I ask them this question, they'd be like, oh, I've always known how to sing. Then like for some other people, like they'll say like, oh, but I have to find my voice. Which one are you? Like, what do you say?
I think I still have to find my voice, because sometimes I don't know if like I can sing this song or no. So yeah.
So it really is a journey, right? So it's like, I mean, you're still like very early in your sort of like, it's sort of like career, right? It's like where you want to be as in music and stuff like that. So I believe you're gonna get there. You know what I'm saying? You still have the time and everything. So yeah. Is there, how do you say this? You know how you say you're in the Indonesian national team?
The Qatar
national team?
Yeah.
Okay, Qatar national team. You're in the Qatar national team, but then like it's a team. But then my thought in my head is like cycling, one seat.
Oh yeah.
You're alone.
Yeah, no.
So
you know what I mean, yeah.
Well, how do you work as a team in like cycling races?
Cycling, it's you can really, it's kind of the teamwork thing kind of only applies on road cycling, because in cycling there's like different position that you have to be in, like a sprinter, and there's like the one that pulls the group, the pack. There's one that is doing like attacks and stuff.
No, because I've watched a video about cycling, and apparently like there's like, when you work as a team, there's like the main sort of like the lead guy, and then like you have people in front of him, and then it's like because of like the air resistance.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so are you like what's your role in the team?
Like right now, like I just got into national team like very recently, like a few weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago. So I'm not really like I've not been training with them, but yeah. So like about the air resistance thing.
Yeah.
So basically, like the guy in front is like, for example, pushing like 100% of the power.
Uh-huh.
Okay, the one at the back is probably pushing like 70 or 80%. So like that percentage really like what makes the team work, So basically, one person goes right, and the one at the back is doing less effort, so they can rest.
Oh.
Yeah.
So see, I'm just like hearing this, and it's like, you guys, even though it's like on a surface level, right?
Yeah.
You guys, one person sings, one person does like biking, and it's like, it's on the surface level, it's like really different.
Yeah.
But then it's like when you look at it on more detail, it's like the choreography or like the the teamwork that you have to do in music,
Yeah.
when you have to match the notes and stuff like that. It's like similar to the work that you guys have to do,
Yeah.
so that as a collective you come out on top. So because you guys work with people and stuff like that, you guys don't have to say names, but like, has there been any difficult moment where Andhiny can say stuff, whatever,
Difficult moments.
when dealing with people?
Well, when I try to give them ideas, so like we know how to sound as one, but they do not listen, and then just say another idea and do not really listen to my ideas.
So how do you deal with that? Do you just move on with their idea, or you just...
Yeah, sometimes I have to agree with their idea and do what they said.
Yeah, I mean, that's hard, when people don't
Yeah.
really listen to you. But it really is sometimes, when like when people don't really listen to you and stuff like that, it's like when things go wrong because of the fact that they don't listen to you, man. Sometimes to be like, even though I'm like, I'm part of them, it's like yeah, I told you so, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I told you. Yeah, and stuff like that. So how about you, like dealing with like people?
I feel like in the race, it's like your heart rate is up, your adrenaline is up. I feel like you can get mad easily and stuff. So obviously there's like some very heated moments and stuff. And yeah, like I crashed last time as well because of a guy cut me, and then I was like, it was heated. But after that, it was like a race.
Cut you, like, what you mean by that? Cause
like they just cut me like that, and so I crashed. Yeah, I was going really fast as well, like 45 kilometers per hour.
So it's like you're not. It's in the rules. You're not supposed to do that. Or
well,
like,
that
that can happen sometimes.
That can happen sometimes, yeah. Because there's some people that I don't know, crazy, I guess. Just like coming over and stuff. It's like crazy, I was going fast as well, so I rolled and stuff. It was like.
But it's really great. In the midst of those kind of moments, right,
Yeah.
where you're in the middle of the race, you crash.
Yeah.
How do you keep your composure? How do you like? You know what?
Yeah, obviously, like, like the first, the moment that happened, it was like I was very heated, like oh man, like my back is broken and stuff, and like it's like, yeah, and then after that, like, you kind of like take everything in, and you're like, you know what, it's okay, it's part of the race, that happens, it can happen sometimes, it's like, yeah, you have to like deal with it.
It's like sometimes in football matches, because I play football, right? It's like at the end of the match, it's like as a sign of respect, even if you lose, you win.
Yeah.
You like shake
hands, yeah, obviously,
hands.
yeah.
So you guys do that as
Yeah,
well?
obviously, yeah, we do, yeah.
But yeah, that's great sportsmanship as well. So how about you? So when you mess up, right? Have you ever, like, obviously we've all messed up before, right? And if you mess up, like, you've messed up in front of like a large audience,
of
would you
course,
say? How do you deal with that? How do you like bounce back, would you say?
Well, this one time I was singing in Khalifa Stadium, and then I was shaky because there's lots of people, so I missed some notes, and then when I finished singing, I was crying because I am embarrassed. But my mom was like, "It's okay, you've tried your best." And then the next time, I sang, and I just ignored people. They're in front of me watching me, and I just ignore them. So yeah, I do not shake anymore.
So it's like you guys are very focused on what you're in control of, So that's great. You guys are like able to live in that moment. So what would you say? As a biker and stuff like that, what would you say your goals are? At least during this year, what do you want to achieve during this year?
I feel like this year, it was
What are in your plans?
like the future plans
Yeah, this year.
this year? Honestly, it was to win the race that I had like 2 weeks ago, the one in the sea line. That was like my target to win on like this year, and I did that obviously. Also to get into the national team because I just really wanted to go there and like like travel around the world and stuff and race with other people and gain more experience on racing and stuff. That was my goal.
For both of you, like how important is like community? Like as in like you have people around you that do the same thing, and like you have role models that you look up to. How important to you guys, and how important is community to you guys, and because you have teachers as well. That's part of the community. How important they are to you?
They're really important because they're the one who teaches me how to do this and that. So yeah, I need them in my life too.
So is it just like musically, or they kind of like provide like emotional support as well? Like
Emotional support, mental, physical. Yeah.
So like it's like they calm you down as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's like it's not really even with me in school, it's like teachers, they could be really great teachers, they could be like knowledgeable, but then not everybody who's knowledgeable can be a teacher. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's like they gotta have a personality as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gotta be able to put up with some kind of like trouble, because it's kids at the end of the day. So yeah, it's just it's a lot of aspects that go into it. But would you say, Aditya, you're more specialized in mountain biking or road cycling?
I feel like mountain biking. Definitely mountain biking.
So that's your preference?
Yeah, I like mountain biking more, to be honest.
But would you say mountain biking is harder than?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So you like the hard stuff?
No, I feel like because I started with mountain bike, so like I started when I was like really small. I feel like I have like more capability in doing stuff, and like some people, they don't have the same like technical skill that I have, so I feel like that's where my advantage is.
That's like your unique selling
Yeah,
point.
exactly. Yeah,
That's
not
like
everyone can do what I do.
Yeah,
guitar. So sure.
Also, I was just gonna say, because sports is like what I've also learned is that doing, football, doing work in the gym really helps. So
Yeah, for sure.
well, what do you do in the gym? Like, what would you say is like?
I do like squats, especially squats for the legs and stuff, and definitely a strong core for abs and stuff. Yeah.
So you don't really do arms? Is that
Well, I do. You
You do
muscle
arms?
conditioning and stuff.
Yeah. That's great. And how do you say this? It's like, it really is like a great opportunity to like get to talk to you guys, because I get to learn a lot, and like because of the experience that you guys have, I can apply it to like real life stuff. It's like
For sure.
it's like real life, but like probably to like a smaller scale, probably not as big as what you guys are doing. It's like it's really great that there are Indonesians out there representing and stuff like that. Also, I was just gonna say, because you're the only Indonesian in the music lab,
Yeah.
you're sort of like this, even if you want it or you don't want it, you sort of like represent Indonesia.
Yeah.
And like, how do you manage that responsibility, or you just don't?
I do, and whatever song I sang, I just don't really care, knowing that I'm representing Indonesia. So like, I have to show them how Indonesia really is, and how people took responsibility, and how they act in front of a lot of people. So
Yeah. And you too, you're representing. You're also still you're Indonesian and stuff like that. So people are still gonna know you as like being Indonesian, and so there's that Indonesian part in you.
Yeah.
How'd you manage that responsibility? Or like, do you relish? Do you like sort of like relish that responsibility?
Well, I feel like, I guess I feel like just doing like what I can do best. Just do what.
Just trying your best.
Yeah, trying my best.
Trying
Exactly.
your best. Yeah, cause see, there's like that boundary where like I even think about it sometimes. Like it's like because every one of us, especially living in a foreign country, right, we like represent a little bit of Indonesia in ourselves. because we meet like foreigners daily, and then you might not know that that's the first time they've ever interacted with an Indonesian. So it's like you gotta like carry yourself well, but at the same time it's like you don't really want to think about it because like you just want to do your own thing, so yeah, it's great to have a balance between just sort of like wanting to do your thing and not really listening to what's the noise out there and stuff like that, and it's really an ability. So again, kudos for you guys to be able to do that, because me and like a lot of people out there find it really hard to do that, just like just constantly think about other people do. So yeah, it's been a really great opportunity to talk to you guys, and like you guys can say it to the camera, and like, well, if where maybe people who don't know you before watching this, it's like where can they find you guys in social media and stuff like that. And yeah, if you guys want to give a shout out to yourself.
Start first,
Yeah, start first.
I have a YouTube channel. It's called Andhiny Titania, and I'm planning to make a new Instagram.
Planning to make new Instagram? Okay, that's great. So you can share more content.
Yeah.
Okay, how about you?
You can find me on Instagram at ad105._. So you can see lots of my content there, cycling and stuff. So yeah.
Okay, so thank you guys for being here with me, talking, and being able to share so many great things to the audience, and I'm sure they're thankful for that as well.
Thank you for having
So
us.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. I guess that's it for episode 19, and goodbye.
Bye bye.